Life is good. Hi, Joy.
Hi.
Hi, Gracious.
Hi.
And hi, Michelle.
Hi there.
What would you say about life? What is your perception about life? What is life? How do you define life? Let me start with you.
That's such a big question. Well, I think life is mostly about what makes you happy or what keeps you going. Like, I think the most important things in life or what makes a rich life is like the people and the relationship.
Oh, wow. So life is about what makes you happy. What about the existence aspect of life? It has to begin with life being an existence or a living before the people and relationships comes in. Don't you think so?
Oh yeah.
So life is about existence.
Yeah.
Do we establish that fact?
Yeah.
And then after the existence, which means the well-being, the being, you know, and then the people, no, then you, and then the people, and then the relationships you develop comes second.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would say life is good and it's about being happy. Is that what you said?
Yeah, kind of like doing what you think fulfills you as a person.
Or what gives you fulfillment?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's not about success. It's not about being able to achieve a goal that you set as in target. Okay, for instance, you're in college now. You're in final year in college.
No, I actually just graduated.
Oh, you just graduated. Sorry. But Gracious and Joy are in final year. So you set up a goal to go to college.
Yeah.
And thank God you've been able to graduate from the college.
Yeah.
So what did you study?
We're studying, all of us are engineering. I did mechanical engineering.
Wow. Wow, I love automobile engineering. My first qualification ever was in automobile engineering.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then after working for a long time, I noticed that I'm a talking person. So then I went to study theology, apologetics, and philosophy of religion. And then afterwards, I decided to go and study psychology and psychoanalysis, development practice. I also studied relationship management, mentoring, and I also studied in the personal communication. And I've just graduated again with a high qualification in training and education. So for me, education, I love it. It's a lifestyle. But let me talk about you. The focus is on you now. So would you say you're happy? Can you say you're happy?
Generally, yeah.
Generally, you're happy.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's kind of like fluctuating.
At the moment is what?
It's kind of like fluctuating. But in the general sense, like in a broader perspective, yeah. But like sometimes it's just not real.
Great.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, like if you
Ups
look at
and
a
downs.
yeah.
But that is such as life. If everything is fine and we only enjoy the good aspects and the good things that happen to us and it's smooth all the time, we can't really have a testimony. We can't really have a story to tell. So that there is no product without a process. And processes are not pleasant. So your life is in a stage that is going through something. And what I notice is that whatever we believe in as individuals, as human beings, as people, needs to be tested. It has to go through something. This is coffee, right? This is tea, sorry. And the tea leaf, this is the tea leaf. Oh God, where is it? Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Let's get it. We're gonna get it. And someone is gonna grab it. The only thing is nobody can drink it again. So this is tea leaf, right? The tea leaf, until it goes through the hot water, the taste of the tea leaf never comes out. So this tea leaf is rubbish without the hot water. So that the tea leaf, in the raw state, you can't enjoy the tea leaf because it's just a product. So the product goes through the process of hot water. It's the refining process, just like gold. When gold goes through the refiner's fire, the beauty of the gold comes out. So in the same capacity, the tea leaf goes through the hot water and then the taste in the tea leaf comes and then it's ready to be drunk. So sometimes our lives also goes through that difficult processes where what we believe as personal values, as interests, as perceptions, as motives, as beliefs, as ideas, as education, a BSc in mechanical engineering. It has to be tested like the tea leaf for the beauty of it to come out. So your life may be rough right now, but I see the end of your life. I see goodness, I see greatness. I see you smiling at the end. So even though sometimes it's difficult and you might not be able to smile right now because things are tough, if you can focus to the destination, the end of it, I think it will come up. Can you say you are happy?
Yeah, I can say that I'm happy.
What makes you happy?
It's just kind of, for me, it's just that being in the moment.
Oh wow, living in the moment.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, it's just one thing that I realized this past few days. It's kind of like, the ends does not justify the means, but what does that
The
really mean?
end does not justify the means. Wow, that's powerful.
But then what does that really mean? Because the means is the end anyway. Because if you're always focusing on
This
the
is
end,
great.
it's always fleeting.
The end doesn't justify the means,
Yeah.
but the means is the end.
Yeah.
So if you keep focusing on the end, the means will not be a problem because it's the means to an end. So you can be able to focus, you can be able to endure whatever you're going through because you're seeing only the end. Let me give you a big example of that. Wow, this is intelligence. and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, friends and families of this world, you know, this wisdom is coming all the way from the Philippines. Can you imagine that? Usually, let me take my hat off. Usually, a lot of people say that you have to live in Europe, you have to be an European, you have to be an American to be intelligent, you have to be an Australian. So there is always this white supremacy that overshadows the other cultures, like the Asian culture, like the African culture, like the Latino culture. But it's not true. We are all intelligent. Why? Because we are all human beings, white, black, Asian, African, wherever we are. So you cannot undermine the intelligence of a person because of where they come from. Look at that. Look at what you just said. 2 words, means to an end. And you're able to expand it in such an academic and profound way. I love it. I love it. It's so beautiful. So you are happy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, fantastic. And what is the source of your happiness? Can you affiliate it with spirituality? Can you affiliate it to mindfulness? Can you affiliate it to well-being? Can you affiliate it to being able to achieve an academic qualification in mechanical engineering? Family, background, location as in Europe? What is it?
I think it's a bit of everything, really. But like, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like being grateful of what you have.
Being what?
Grateful.
Say boom, B-O-O-M. Being grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
But gratitude is missing in society today.
Yeah,
In
because
Europe, people are not happy. That's why they're committing suicide.
yeah, because
In
like
Asia, people are not happy. That's why they're committing suicide. So being grateful, gratitude.
because
Wow.
I've traveled to like different places. Like I was in Brazil
Yeah.
for like a month, and I saw how like some people were always telling me, "Oh, you're so lucky that you grew up in Europe, that you were like educated there, and you have all these opportunities and stuff like that." But then at the same time, you know, the way I kind of see it, that they have more kind of a free market, so they are it's less regulated, so they can do any startup
That they want, right?
that they want.
And in regard to the people in Brazil, seeing you being born in Europe, growing up in Europe, studying in Europe, as better, you know, opportunity than theirs, is because of this. We've got the SWO. I'm sure you know it. You've heard it. You know it. It's the strength, weaknesses, and opportunity.
Yeah.
But I always add the key to it, which is strength. So I say SWOT: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The people in Brazil, you know, in the circumstances that you just gave me, are only thinking about their weaknesses, their threats, and their lack of opportunity. But they are not focusing on their strengths. They are not focusing on what they have as in capacity, ability, talent, gifts, and the freedom of the free market. They are not seeing that. They are only seeing the other opportunities which they see in you. So in likewise, if I say to you, you're beautiful now, you'll be thinking about her. Because you're not looking at your beauty, you're looking at what she's got that you don't have, rather than focusing on what you have as a person.
It's like
Wow.
It's like the grass is always greener on the other side. Kind of thing.
The grass is always greener on the other side. Here comes, look, she comes out with another boom word. Wow. She started with a philosophical word that said that a means to an end, and said that you don't have to worry because the end is the means and the means is the now. And she lives in the moment. And then she goes again to say that what? Say it again.
the grass is always greener on the other side.
The grass is always greener on the other side. Do you understand that, viewer? She means that when you are here and your grass is being being bent with sun, and the sun is making your grass to die. You don't see grass where you are. You look at the other side, and all you see is green, and it looks greener. And because of that, you lose focus of where you are, and you begin to look elsewhere. Boom! This is fantastic. My last question to you: do you believe in God?
I do.
Wow, what God do you believe in? We have many gods.
I don't particularly subscribe to one religion. I think that they're all the same at the core.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Are you the same as her?
Well, I am.
In personality, in human identity, in personal views, in physical look, physical appearance, are you the same as her? So how can other religions be the same?
No, I mean like the teachings. I think what really differs from it is people's interpretation. And sometimes it tends to kind of separate people rather than integrate them. It's because of the views that they have. Or the
Wow,
misinterpretation that they have.
this is fantastic. So you think religion always separates people rather than bringing them together?
Not necessarily religion itself. I think it's the people within the religion
That's
that
separate.
has a misconception or a misunderstanding.
So that you believe in one God concept, that we have only one God in this world.
I'm not sure. Like, I can't say for sure that I believe in one God, that there is one God in particular.
Wow.
But I think, I don't know, I just kind of have like a very universal view. Like, I can't say for definite that there's only one God, but I can't, because like in Hinduism, they believe in many gods. Whereas,
Thousands of gods.
whereas in Islam or in Christianity, they only believe in one God.
Do
But like,
you think the notion of Hinduism, the notion of the Hindus, do you think it makes sense to believe in thousands of gods?
I'm not really like sure. I'm not educated enough for like Hinduism to make like an opinion.
But you have common sense, you're so intelligent.
But it's really because Hinduism is actually one of the oldest religions, and the other like Christianity and Islam is like a relatively new one compared to the old religions.
That is true.
So what they kind of believe is kind of like a very universal perspective that they, like for example, they believe in reincarnation and karma, and that they don't really believe in heaven or hell. That hell is whatever you make out of it.
Because you get a second chance.
Yeah, kind of like,
Wow.
say for example, they believe that your existence, you make the best out of it. You can be hell on earth
Or heaven on earth.
or heaven on earth.
So in that
Basically,
in that intelligent response that you just gave me, beyond academic knowledge, because you can have PhD and still be foolish, because it's only limited accumulated knowledge in one area of endeavor. In that opinion that you just gave me, if you had a chance to believe in just one God and to believe in 1,000 gods, if one God can make you happy, why do you need 1,000 gods?
I think probably kind of like taking on different perspectives, like so it'll be able to be it's more relatable. Like for example, if you have just one thing,
It's not Confucianist, no.
no, I don't think so. It's just that if you believe in a singular thing, people like us as human beings tend to think that as a very linear.
You should be actually, Grisha should be answering those questions, but it's okay, you're doing it. But I love it. But sorry for cutting you there. But what about this? What about this? If I make this, if I mold this with my hand, and after molding it, it becomes an object or something that I have molded, that I have made with my hands. So let's assume making this, and then after making this container, I label it as a god, and I begin to worship this object that I've made with my hands. So it's not that this object made me, but I make this object. So for me, as someone with a psychological and a theological knowledge and insight and apologetic knowledge that I defend scripture, I find it difficult to create something because the 1,000 gods are all people's creation. They molded these images. They made it. So I can't mold something and derive strength from that thing, spiritual strength from that thing. It makes sense to me to accept the one God notion than the thousands of God notion, because the intellectual knowledge that I have is this. Let me take your human eye. I always like to use a human eye. Your beautiful human eye. Look at it. You know, that beautiful, let me use Chinese, I'm sorry, but it's Filipino. Chinese eyes, you know, that is so sexy and pretty. The eye is 5 components. It's not possible for the eye to evolve out of nothing, which means that your human eye was carefully and wonderfully designed, with each layer having a role and a significant part to play to give you sight, which is the light of the body. So if I read the Quran, the Holy Quran, it doesn't tell me how my eye evolved, but the Christian Bible tells me how it was made. Isaiah chapter, I think Psalm 139 tells me that, and I can read it, I can enjoy it, you know, and I can understand it. So for me, the Christian, you know, knowledge of creation and human beings make more sense. You might disagree, you're entitled to it, and I respect it.
I don't particularly disagree. Like, I just think that, like, it's just a different perspective, I suppose, and I think that people kind of claiming that the other side or the other people's perspective is completely false, but because you think that this is complete, like this, what you see is right, it's not the message that, say, for example, Jesus tries to spread.
Yeah, I get that. So Jesus' message was the love of God, the unconditional love of God, and the purpose of that was to bring all humanity to discovering spirituality through His way. And He says in the Bible that is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can go to God, one God, without hate. But it doesn't stop anyone. He accepts everybody. Hindus, Christians, Muslims, and everybody. But when you trust Him and commit your life to Him, He changes you and makes you what He wants, which is better. Because
yeah, but like, what does it actually mean though? Like, a lot of people claim that they have Jesus in their life or they accept Jesus in their life, but they're completely terrible people. They completely shame other people. And then there are people who don't believe in Jesus. Or say, for example, they haven't really necessarily proclaimed that they have Jesus in it, but they are the nicest and kindest, most generous people on this earth. Could you say that they don't have Jesus in their life?
You know, when I was a young boy, I used to always love going around and telling people about Jesus. I still do that, and I'm still doing it now. But when I became mature in God, I noticed that it's not just the tag or the affiliation or association, but it's actually living. If you see me, you see Christ in me. If I talk to you respectfully, if I accept you just as you are, and your background, and I love you and I respect you, for me, that is the nature of Christ. I love that. I say book to that. It was such a pleasure. I need to talk to them. So it's such a pleasure talking to you. Can you see the wisdom that is just demonstrated here? It's just bombastical.